It is Senator Servel's casino bill, Senate Bill 756. And we have a substitute, and I'll explain what's in the substitute. Do I have a motion to adopt the substitute? It's been moved and seconded to adopt a substitute. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, here's what the substitute does. It requires that the host locality give substantial weight to certain factors, including prevailing wage rate, a labor peace agreement, and some things like that. It also requires Fairfax County to select a proposed casino gaming operator that has voluntarily proffered the construction, funding, or dedication of at least one public safety capital facility, like a police station there in the entertainment district. It requires the Virginia Lottery to make publicly available certain documentation submitted by an eligible host locality to the department, of course redacted for certain confidential information, but it makes it much more transparent. The memorandums of understanding, incentives, development agreements, land purchase agreements, local infrastructure agreements. It requires an eligible host locality to include with its submission notice of its preferred casino gaming operator a executed agreement entered in between the city and the casino gaming operator, certifying that the casino gaming operator or any subcontractor or sublessee responsible for the performance of casino gaming or hospitality operations at the casino gaming establishment will enter into a labor peace agreement with each labor organization actively engaged in representing or seeking to represent employees in the casino gaming or hospitality industries. And it also creates a licensure fee of $150 million instead of the $15 million from back 7 years ago, however long ago it was. Inflation has come, and $15 million is not what it was 7 years ago. So it's now $150 million, and half of that would be distributed by the lottery back to the locality. It also sets out a separate referendum process, and this can all be found on it's all up on IHOD, right? Mm-hmm. It's that provides that notwithstanding a vote in the affirmative by a majority of the voters of the locality in which the referendum was held, a referendum is only successful if it's a majority of the voters in the magisterial district in which the proposed casino gaming establishment is to be located also vote in the affirmative. So let's say it's in Springfield, then the Springfield magisterial district would also have to approve it. So even if it's got 80% of the rest of the county and it only got 49% of the Springfield magisterial district, it would not pass. And it provides that also if the referendum fails, the county shall be prohibited from holding another referendum on the same question. And it sets the tax rate at 40% of adjusted gross revenue, with 50% to the locality, 5% to problem gambling treatment and sport fund. Let me say, the way the casino law has been in the past, it's only 0.08% to problem gambling and treatment and sports funds, and that's very, very low. 5% is kind of the norm in the country. We also have 5% to the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority Capital Fund, and that'll be for all the traffic considerations around it. 1% to the Virginia Indigenous Peoples Trust Fund, which is on one of the casino bills already. 0.02% to the Family and Children's Trust Fund, which is also in the current casino bill. And then the other 0.08% would go to Open Space Lands Preservation Trust Fund, and then the remainder to the School Construction Fund. And then the final enactment clause says that if Fairfax doesn't pass a referendum within 3 years, by July 1, 2029, the provisions of the bill will expire. So that's the substitute. And do we have any questions on the substitute? Delegate Price.
Yes, thank you. I had a question for the patron.
I see the senators arrived. Sorry, Senator, I didn't see you. All right, Senator Servel.
Thanks. Sorry, I missed most of your explanation, but I heard part of it.
I'll give it to you.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Delegate Price. You have a question for him?
Yeah.
Go ahead, ask the question.
Okay. So why are we increasing the amount that we're giving to problem gambling?
The amount we're giving to problem gaming? That's the chair's proposal, not mine.
Yeah.
Somebody.
So I have a question for the chairman.
Yeah.
Why are we giving more to problem gambling?
Because with increasing gaming, you see more problem gambling.
Awesome. Speaking to the bill, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Thank you. Every single year, we are just sliding into this place of danger for Virginians. And so I know you all heard my comments when it came to iGaming. I got more no emails for this bill than I even did for iGaming. And so I just want to be on the record. Every single one of the more than 400 emails I received were all from Fairfax County. So not only are we pushing gambling on the Commonwealth, it looks like we're pushing it on people that don't even want it. And so I'm just wondering aloud into the ether, what are we doing? And I would love one day for us to be able to answer that question.
Thank you, Delegate. Senator, do you want to respond to any of that?
Sure.
Okay.
Fairfax County is a big place. It's larger than 8 states, and it has a diversity of opinions. I represent one part of the county that's very different from the part of the county that you probably got a lot of emails about. And they opened the MGM casino across the river from my house. I can walk 2 blocks and see it, the MGM casino. All the things that the emails you got complained about haven't happened in my neighborhood or Delegate Krizak's neighborhood, who lives. I can walk to his house actually too if I wanted to. Yeah, but all these things you've heard about haven't happened in the last 6-7 years. What has happened is that MGM Casino has become the most profitable asset for MGM outside of Las Vegas. It generates over $848 million in gaming revenue a year, which is, I believe, in excess of the 5 Virginia casinos combined. And as JLARC found, a project like this on the other side of Fairfax County, away from MGM, where the state invested $9 billion in a silver line and has 2 interstates, another of which we spent, I don't know, another $4 or $5 billion. Well, we authorized $4 or $5 billion. My constituents have to pay $25 tolls to get to work if they choose to work in Tyson's Corner every morning, $50 both ways, to pay for that road. We built all that infrastructure in Tyson's to be able to absorb this type of density and these kinds of projects because it's going to be the downtown of Fairfax County where they're expecting another 100,000 people to move. And so this, the people that live there apparently don't like what the Board of Supervisors authorized years ago when they did the comp plan rewrite, and they're complaining about it. But this is what was authorized, this kind of density, this kind of development. And this kind of project will generate $2 billion for school construction statewide, of which many of your districts will benefit from. And it will also generate over $1 billion of revenue for my county, which, by the way, is facing a $300 million deficit right now, while the county next door has a $250 million surplus with a tax rate that's 30% lower. So I think this is a project that's needed. I think it has statewide significance. And there's a few people that live near the site that are complaining, but 450 people out of 1.4 million is not a lot.
Thank you, Senator. What I'd like to do now, unless there's Senator or Delegate Cole, do you want to speak now, or do you want to wait until after we've heard from the audience? Okay, Delegate Cole.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a question for the patron, because there have been varied views that have been coming into the inbox from the various different people.
None of your constituents, I bet.
Correct. The bill, however, does it not include a referendum option or a referendum for the people to have a say?
Mine did. I didn't hear the beginning of the presentation, so I assume it still has that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Delegate. Thank you, Senator. I know there's people in the audience, and this bill has not gone to subcommittee because it's a revenue bill. We have to get it done this week, so we didn't have time to go to a subcommittee. So I would like to give each side 20 minutes to speak, and this is the last bill of the day. So all those in favor of, first we're going to go with everybody, those in favor of the casino, and then we'll go with those against. And please line up, and the clerk will open it. All right, do we have anybody in favor of the casino? If they're in favor of the casino, please, the clock is ticking. Start the clock. Yeah.
Excuse me. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm Virginia Diamond. Sorry. I'm the president of the Northern Virginia Labor Federation, AFL-CIO, we are in support of this bill, and in fact, it is our top priority. We want our working families in Fairfax County to have the opportunity to vote. We want to have a say because we feel strongly that this is an opportunity that is unprecedented and that would be life-changing for thousands and thousands of working families, people who are currently in poverty who would have the opportunity to get jobs in the middle class. We have agreements that would provide the opportunity for more than 5,000 workers to join unions and to have union jobs. So what that means for people who are now working 3 jobs, many women of color in our community who are barely able to survive in Fairfax County would be able to double their salaries, have pensions, have health care, and have the opportunity for a voice on the job through having a union. So the opportunity to have union jobs is vital to us, and it's not available without these types of agreements. Secondly, we need the revenue in Fairfax County. Part of our labor coalition includes the Fairfax County Federation of Teachers, who was unable to get their collective bargaining agreement funded last year because the county simply doesn't have the revenue. So we feel that this is something that we should have the right to vote on, that working people should also have a say in these types of decisions, these types of developments, and that this would be an opportunity to change the lives of thousands of people. We hope you will give us the opportunity to at least have our vote on this subject. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Diamond.
Hello, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Charlie Russ with the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce, and our NOVA roadmap calls for the development of a Northern Virginia economy that competes by design, not by default. We must move past our over-reliance on the federal government by investing in high-growth industries, increasing affordability, addressing impediments to growth, and rebranding our region. While you all work on statewide solutions, we ask you support local opportunities to provide some measure of revenue diversification, especially those like this proposal that do not require public investment. As you know, the current proposal is a mixed-use development that will include at least $4 billion in private sector investment. A single development that provides these benefits without the need for public investment is a historic opportunity for the region and for Fairfax County, and local residents should be given the opportunity to consider all the benefits that this project can provide. The Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce enthusiastically supports these kinds of bold ideas and encourages the General Assembly to do the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Michael Hashi, and on behalf of Unite Here, we are the union of casino, hotel, food service, and hospitality workers throughout Virginia. We're in strong support of this bill. We believe we need to think about the workers who today are working in the hospitality industry in Northern Virginia, who are working cleaning hotel rooms, who are waiting tables, who are cooking food. There are too many people who are struggling to get by, who are working 2 and 3 jobs, and who are still struggling to afford the rising cost of living. And this is a tremendous opportunity to create good gaming industry jobs that will uplift workers, their families, their communities. So we strongly support the vision of a major economic development in Tysons. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Don Slayman. I'm here representing the IBW Local 26 Electricians Union. We feel really strongly that we need this bill to help build our middle class and to help give opportunities for 5,500 workers in Northern Virginia. We already have an agreement for $34 an hour housekeeping jobs. We're trying to build a middle class. We're trying to mend our communities. We're trying to promote our democracy so close to the nation's capital. This is important that we lift up. We have diversity also means diversity of class and diversity of opportunities. And legislation's important, but jobs is why we come here. And these are 5,500 great jobs. And for us in the construction trades, the developers come to us. When we meet with you all, what we want is we want to be in the room where it happens. This developer, we're in the room where it's happening. They have already assigned that they will do the entire project with local craftsmen and craftswomen. And that money will be taxed and put in the community. Also, the licensing fee from this is huge for Fairfax County, not to mention the proceeds from the what happens inside the casino. But we want to remember that this is a 4 million square foot project. And this developer has, unlike in Maryland at the MGM and Gaylord, where we had an agreement to do those pieces, we didn't do any of the ancillary work, and it was done with wait staff. And we only lifted up the few people on the two big properties. This developer has agreed to do all 4 million square feet with our union apprenticeship programs. This job will give people 30, 40-year careers working on this. So we really thank you for considering it. And really, we just want to have the people in Fairfax to have a chance to vote. Without you all giving them the opportunity, they'll never have a chance to vote. So let the people decide. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Committee Chair, members of committee. I'm Jaime Contreras. I'm the Executive Vice President for SCAU 32BJ. Our union represents 8,000 security officers, custodial workers, airport workers in Northern Virginia, and also here in Richmond. I think it should say something when labor and the chamber are actually testifying in favor of something. So something's going right here. So I stand here in full support of Senate Bill 756 in solidarity with our labor siblings for the reasons that they already outlined to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason Wheeler, I'm a representative with the Carpenters Union. We support this bill, and we'd like to see local residents have an opportunity to vote on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Committee, Jason Parker, Virginia State Building and Construction Trades Council. We support. Let the people decide.
Thank you. All right, that concludes the people who are supportive. Now we'll set the clock to 20 minutes for the people who are against. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members, delegates of the committee. My name is Chuck Anderson, Vienna Town Council member, a former planning commissioner, and an economist. I also serve on the steering committee of the No Fairfax Casino Coalition, a fully volunteer grassroots coalition of more than 40 organizations representing over 200,000 voices in Fairfax County. We believe that SB 756 is bad on so many different levels. First, it seriously weakens local land use decision-making authority. Second, it could stunt economic development in one of Virginia's most vibrant communities. Third, SB 756 has not been supported by any independent data-driven analysis showing that it would generate new, meaningful net tax revenues. Fourth, it's an example of poor gaming public policy. Fifth, it would not create meaningful growth in the labor force, but just shift jobs in time and from one place to another. And finally, it's not the will of the people most directly affected. My colleagues and I will address each of these points in turn, and I'll start with the land use issue. Localities should control their own land use decisions. SB 756 did not originate with local Fairfax County officials, nor has there been any local community input. This bill breaks Virginia's longstanding principle that casino proposals begin at the local level. Not only did Fairfax County not ask for it, the Board of Supervisors have said they don't want it. As a former planning commissioner, I know the years of work required to create comprehensive plans and economic development strategies. This bill strips Fairfax County of that authority and sets a dangerous precedent. Before voting, consider the broader impact on your district's local land use autonomy. Regarding economic development, this issue is best evaluated again by those who understand the local conditions. While casinos may boost growth in some geographic areas, in others they can cause harms. In reality, gaming tax revenue gains can be offset by falling property values, reduced income and sales taxes from businesses and residential flight, as well as increased costs from traffic and crime. As legislators, I ask you to weigh both the benefits and the costs. Even though SB 756 scope has been expanded beyond a single locations, we all know its practical focus is Tyson's, the most advanced and likely most lucrative site for developers and gaming operators in the country. Tyson's continues to undergo major transformation. Over the past 15 years in Tyson's, 12 million square feet of mixed-use development has been added, the result of long-term planning by local leaders to turn a retail and low-rise office area into a true urban center, one with tens of thousands of new residences, parks, walkable streets, and places to work. The Metro Silver Line and those new roads were built to support these goals and not to service a casino. Casinos do not contribute to these placemaking goals. Or consider this one final metric. Fairfax County is home to 11 Fortune 500 companies across a very diverse group of industries, while Las Vegas has just 3, all gaming companies. That fact alone should answer the question of whether casinos and world-class diversified economic development can coexist.
Good afternoon. I'm Linda Walsh, and I also serve on the steering committee of the Fairfax Casino Coalition, and also on the McLean Citizens Association, which covers a lot of areas in Falls Church, Vienna, Tyson's Corner, and McLean, of course. I'm going to cover fiscal reality and missing analysis. SB 756 has been pitched as an easy fix for budget shortfalls. And first, I must commend Virginia for all the budgeting work they do. For instance, Maryland has a lot of casinos, right? But their fiscal reality for them is quite different than what's here at Virginia, and that's because of the hard work you guys have put in. But the promises on this bill don't correspond to reality. Revenue projections that have been cited are simply not credible. The patron has claimed that a single Tyson's casino would generate enough tax revenue to cut real estate tax bills by 10%. The reality is that such a casino would need to pull in roughly $4.5 billion annually, which is about 4.5 times what MGM does in National Harbor. The numbers simply don't hold up. In fact, there was a recent report on Fairfax County's own feasibility analysis that came out this past week, and it suggested that the projected local revenues is closer to just $20 million from the casino. If the all-in figure was $29 million, but that include real estate taxes and other taxes that would come to us. So $20 million. Big disparity. And even the modest figures ignores the losses. The $20 million is the modest figure ignores likely losses from businesses in residential flight that could erase any gains. And I believe you all received letters from the Tyson's businesses that were not willing to co-locate with a casino. What is most troubling is that SB 756 has advanced without a current independent impact study. The JLOC report from 2019 did not focus on Fairfax County or Tyson's, failed to assess negative impact, and now outdated given dramatic changes in the gaming market. There's poor gaming policy and market saturation is the next point. SB 756 is not a one-off. It piles yet more gaming expansion onto an already crowded landscape of online fantasy and sports betting, iGaming, and legalized skill games. Bottom line, casino expansion reduces profitability for existing casinos and means less revenue per casinos. Casinos should be placed where they deliver the greatest net economic benefit and the least cannibalization of existing operation. JLOC's 2019 study shows casinos don't just create jobs, they wipe out jobs in existing gaming locations, with a projected 45% hit to the historical horse racing revenue. SB 756 doesn't bring gaming into a void. It adds another large casino onto an already saturated regional market and undercuts the very historical horse racing operations like Rosie's, which is a neighbor to Fairfax County, that were originally used to sell gambling expansion. Before approving yet another expansion, we need to pause, step back, and seriously assess the rapidly evolving gaming landscape. And to why not let the people vote? At this point, we don't have the information we need to make an educated decision for Fairfax County. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Falcone. I'm Secretary of Citizens for Great Falls and a member of the No Fairfax Casinos Coalition Steering Committee, speaking in opposition to SB 756. Job claims just don't hold up. SB 756 appeals to labor leaders, but it does not clearly create new sustainable jobs. Construction would occur with or without a casino. Land near the Silver Line is far too valuable to remain undeveloped. At best, the bill merely shifts construction jobs in time. Service jobs tell the same story. A casino would largely redirect spending and employment from existing local restaurants and hospitality businesses to a single operator. This is job substitution, not job creation. Furthermore, promises of a guaranteed union job rest on purported agreements with a single developer in a right-to-work state, even though no site, operator, or contractor has been selected. These assurances are not enforceable. They are pie in the sky and speculative at best. The will of the people. We urge the members of the committee to consider the will of the people. The Fairfax County Board of Supervisors opposes SB 756. No local economic development authority has asked for it, and public opposition is overwhelming and growing. Most delegates can say that they have received hundreds and over thousands of emails and calls over the last few days. A countywide poll by Freedom Virginia shows that 75% of Fairfax County residents oppose a casino. This is not a flawed or superficial poll. It uses a robust sample. It asks the question in multiple ways and includes a full demographic analysis. The result is unmistakable. Opposition is broad, deep, and consistent across race, income, age, gender, geography, and even union households. This is not NIMBYism, as it has been described by the patron. It is county-wide rejection. Year after year, the Virginia General Assembly confronts a fundamentally flawed proposal that Fairfax County's governing body did not ask for. SB 756 lacks public support. It would fail any referendum, and it would impose substantial costs in taxpayer resources that are better directed to proven priorities. A 2025 report by the American Gaming Association reminds us that given today's harsh realities, land-based casinos have experienced fierce competition and lost revenue from a relentless growth of online gaming, skill games, and iGaming. Because of that, any casino bill demands rigorous, independent economic analysis to validate its claimed benefits. Fairfax County deserves policy rooted in evidence, not speculation. Respectfully, I urge you to reject 756, vote no, or pass it by indefinitely. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, Nancy Im from Fairfax County. A casino in Fairfax County represents a huge gamble that risks damaging Virginia's fiscal health. Fairfax County currently generates over $217 million in sales tax and $4.3 billion in personal income tax for the general fund. Placing a casino in the heart of this economic hub will drive away businesses and residents. Any decline in this economic engine would offset even the most optimistic casino revenue projections. Mr. Chairman, a vote for this bill isn't simply a vote for a referendum. The authority alone creates a looming risk to the thriving business climate of Fairfax County. When businesses decide where to locate, they don't want to be next to a casino. And the threat of a referendum creates uncertainty in the business environment of Fortune 500 companies. Look at Chicago, for instance. The city worked for 30 years to bring a casino to its downtown business district, and it's the perfect example of a failed bet. Bally's Chicago has vastly underperformed, while banks, capital market groups, and investment firms are moving away because they don't want to coexist with a casino. We Virginians do not want to repeat the mistakes of Chicago. Even closer to home, look no further than Washington, D.C. J.P. Morgan just won a protracted years-long litigation to prevent a nightclub with Vegas-style shows and alcohol after midnight from locating next door. A 24/7 casino is incompatible with Fairfax County's high-tech industries in information technology, defense, aerospace, national security, and finance. Mr. Chairman, comparing Tyson's to National Harbor is like comparing Wall Street to the Vegas Strip. There are no Fortune 500 companies headquartered in Prince George's County. By contrast, Fairfax County hosts 11 Fortune 500 companies and has strengthened its infrastructure to attract similar corporations. National Harbor was zoned for a casino as part of a 350-acre development, whereas Tyson's economic development plan intentionally does not include a casino. Revenue projections that assume a casino would perform like MGM ignore the fact that it would be competing head-to-head with MGM for the same customers. Pie-in-the-sky casino projections also fail to account for the corresponding losses to the local economy as small businesses compete for the same revenues and workers. Please, spare us from the shadow of a looming casino that will drive away businesses even before we get to a doomed referendum. As a reminder, 75% of voters across Fairfax County oppose a casino, and so does the Board of Supervisors. Mr. Chairman, this committee is in the unique position to decide the fate of Fairfax County. Will you transform it into a mini Atlantic City, or will you allow it to continue to be the Silicon Valley of the East? The answer, I hope, is an easy one. A casino is a gamble we simply cannot afford, and I urge the committee to vote no on SB 756. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Paula Martino, and I'm the president of the Tyson Stakeholders Alliance. We are a coalition of residents, employees, and community leaders in Tyson's, not Tyson's Corner. I'm here today to respectfully urge you to oppose Senate Bill 756. And let me begin with a simple fact. As you've heard before, Fairfax County did not request and does not want this authority. Unlike the other 5 casino localities that currently host casinos today, Fairfax County never sought this authorization. Our Board of Supervisors, as you've heard before, formally oppose this bill. 75% of our residents countywide oppose this bill. In my own community in downtown Tysons, located potentially within less than 0.4 of a mile from a casino, 3,200 residents oppose it by 92%. This is not a close call locally. It is clear, it is consistent, and it is overwhelming. A casino in Fairfax County is just not wanted. It is a bad bet for our county, and it is a bad bet for the Commonwealth. Recent economic impact findings from an analysis authorized by Fairfax County show revenue projections promoted by county advocates simply do not hold up. The county's independent analysis concludes that the estimated annual tax revenue to Fairfax County from a casino as part of a mixed-use development would be about 1/3 of what proponents have claimed without evidence. That's roughly $30 million, not $90 million. We have also heard repeated claims that casino revenue would reduce our property taxes by 10 cents. That assertion, too, has been made without evidence. Based on the county's analysis, the actual impact would amount to less than 1 penny on the current property tax rate. Less than 1 penny. For the Commonwealth, the numbers are similarly overstated. The county's analysis does estimate annual tax revenue at state tax revenue at about $53 million, which is less than a quarter of the $232 million that the proponents have suggested without evidence. So despite being sold as a major revenue engine for Virginia, the county's analysis shows that the juice does not appear to be worth the squeeze. There are many serious challenges facing our residents and the Commonwealth. The rising cost of living, access to affordable housing, traffic congestion, and fully funding public education. A casino anywhere in Fairfax County will not solve any of these problems. And based on the data, it will not deliver the revenue that has been promised. On behalf of the Tyson stakeholders and my thousands of residents I represent, we ask you to oppose the bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jennifer Vanny, Fairfax County. Mr. Chairman, we thank the patron for talking with us throughout this process, and while there have been some amendments added that stripping stringent location requirements from the bill, this board still remains opposed. We have not been able to review the new amendments, but have concerns around revenue splits, lack of established gaming commission, and we have not asked for this authority.
Hello, my name is Nick Cesardic. I'm a resident in Rotonda, which is right across the street from proposed location. I'm a member of a board there. We have 3,000 people in there. We have about 700 kids. We have an elementary school, which is about less than a mile away from this property, and we are strongly opposing this bill. Please vote no. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Ryan O'Toole with Freedom, Virginia. I'll be brief as I did not expect to be this close to the wire, but we respectfully oppose the bill. Briefly stating our key takeaway, we've advocated this session for fair revenue generation at the state and local level. We don't think this bill does it, and we urge further consideration of measures that close tax loopholes for the ultra-rich and corporations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, time is up pretty much. 10 seconds, perfect timing, 20 minutes. We have a bunch of delegates that I know are texting me because they have to go vote in Senate on their bills. So I ask the senator to make a quick final comments if he wishes to. Quick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, a couple things in response to what I heard. The Tyson's Corner office vacancy rate is double the national average. That's what it is right now. It's the same as DC or Maryland, but it's double the national average. The buildings are about 25 to 30% vacant. It's an area that needs more investment. Number one. Number two, in terms of support, I want to remind everybody, the Board of Supervisors has its views. That they took a vote when they had a vacant position on the Board of Supervisors, and the vote was 5-4. They didn't wait for the other person to be sworn in before they decided to take their vote. I would also note that the majority of the senators who represent Fairfax County support this bill and have for the last 2 years now. The bill requires an entertainment district to be constructed, a 1.5 million square foot convention center, entertainment complex, event venue, hotel, not just a casino. Fairfax County is larger than the 8 states and doesn't have a single place you can host a convention. Think about that. Now the project, you heard about these revenue numbers being debated. MGM does $850 million a year in gaming revenue. That's what it did last year. Most people project this would do better than that. You put it close in Tyson's Corner, closer to the other part of Maryland. And it would also be funded by about 40% of Marylanders. I want that money back from Maryland. We send $300 million a year to Maryland to pay for their schools because they built that thing right on our border. That's what got me started on this in 2016. Now, what these folks forget to mention, aside from the fact that if you did $1 billion in gaming revenue, it would generate $74 million a year for the county alone. They're not counting real estate taxes. Every $1 billion in value that you construct on that property generates $11 million of real estate revenue for the county and doesn't count sales taxes, meals taxes, hotel taxes, or events taxes, which the county would all benefit from. I heard a talk about residential flight. Fairfax County's population has gone down in the last 5 years. Look at what UVA Weldon Cooper Center just put out today. Our county has lost population. We need to attract population. In terms of the polling, it was polling by an undisclosed donor which probably has a big facility right across the river. There's been mail coming into my district, which is 20 miles away from this, saying that this is going to affect traffic on Route 1 next to myself and Delegate Krizik's house. Preposterous nonsense. There's been anonymous texts sent out from undisclosed donors. There were emails that were sent to you all last year. When several of you all replied to the people who sent the emails, they said they didn't even send the email. I can tell you who's behind it, because last year when they brought the bus, one of the activists admitted the MGM paid for the bus to bring the activists. I'm not saying that happened this year, but MGM has a direct financial interest in stopping this bill. So when you hear all these things, you get all these emails, you get all these texts, you hear all about this so-called polling, just think about the fact there's a multinational corporation that's going to lose a lot of money if we authorize this project to benefit our state and our constituents. At the end of the day, Mr. Chairman, I would just ask the committee, let the Fairfax County voters decide if they want this or not. That's all we're asking.
Thank you, Senator. Okay. Do you have a question, Delegate Reeser?
I have a question for the patron. Senator Serwell, you mentioned that there was a vacant seat on the board when that vote took place. Has the newly seated member taken a public position?
I haven't asked her.
Okay, thank you.
Delegate Price?
I did not have a question. I just wanted to speak to the bill at the appropriate time.
Okay, it's appropriate time.
Okay. So I heard some responses that may not have been directed at me, but I was a part of them. And I just want to make it clear that my this bill stance is not anti-livable wages. It's not anti-labor. It's why can't we do better? Like, Virginia deserves great paying jobs, and I support labor, but the other localities, not only did they have residents, they had a majority of their local governing boards lined up out this room asking for it. And I just do not understand why we would move forward with something that the local, and I hear you, with the other person, but it sounds like they weren't for it either. But Maryland has MGM and still had a budget shortfall. So I just want us to think through 2 points. Many of the people that go to casinos that are already established are some of the same folks that live in the same areas that we're arguing are impoverished and need better schools. So that it's self-funded help, and that's not a great policy. And also, if we're going to continue to build our budgets around vices, we will continue to be at the will of the House, and the House always wins. It is Virginians who are losing. TCI and several other agencies have offered us innovative ways for us to increase our revenues, and we haven't passed any of those bills. But yet, this one is seemingly about to sail through. I just want to be on the record asking for us to think more thoughtfully about how we argue for poor people, when we choose to invoke poor people and not use them as political pawns, but make sure we're listening to the voices of poor people. And I just want to put that on the record as to why I will be voting no.
All right, thank you. No. Yes? Okay. All right, if this does report, it needs to go to appropriations. I'm sorry, we have a motion. Did I hear that? It's been moved to report and refer to appropriations. And as amended, the clerk will open the roll. All right, the clerk will close the roll. The bill reports 12-7, and it's going up to appropriations.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Senator.